Ladies and gentlemen, we are gradually wrapping up the quarterfinal contest. We are on the 5th out of 6. This one is very interesting, a very cagey one. Personally, this is a contest I've been looking forward to for the quarterfinal. It is one between the University of Energy and Natural Resources from Sunyani in the Bono region, representing the middle zone, coming up against the Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies from Wa in the Upper West region, representing the northern zone. Ladies and gentlemen, a place at the semi-final is at stake. 2 final slots, one will be determined from this contest. So far, we have the University of Cape Coast, we have the Valley View University, the University of Education, Winneba, we have the University of Ghana. Remaining 2 more slots to be filled. 1 school from this contest will join that elite group of 6 schools to qualify to the semi-final. But this one will either go down as a revenge or a repeat. It is a repeat of last year's contest at the same level. But will it be a revenge or a repeat contest? My name is Al Hassan Yusuf Trauli, and I especially welcome you all to the Tertiary Business Sense Challenge 2025 version 7.0. The program is brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountant Ghana. Our sponsors, Glyco Life, PwC, Gold Ghana, Papa Fast Foods, Compu Ghana, MTN Ghana, GCB Bank, Ghana National Association of Teachers, EPP Book Services, and the Zenith University College. Please, with a round of applause, join me as I welcome the contestants on stage. So for University of Energy and Natural Resources, they joined TBSC in 2023 at the Northern Zone. At the Northern Zone that year, they met UBIT for the very first time in their first ever contest at the TBSC. They were defeated by UBIT by 2 points. I remember that contest. In 2024, last year, UNE was at the zonal final where they came 3rd. At the national level, they were at the quarterfinal stage, just like this year. So at this stage last year, they lost again to Dombo, that is UBIT, at the same stage by just about 3.5 points. UNE will be looking for a revenge. UBIT will be looking for a repeat. For UBIT, they joined TBSC on their own in 2021. Prior to that, they were with UDS. In 2021, they were at the national quarterfinal, same stage as this, where they lost to the University of Education, Winneba. In 2022, they were at the quarterfinal again, where they lost to the Akenten Apiaminka University. In 2023, at the quarterfinal stage, again, they lost to the University of Cape Coast. In 2024, however, they were able to scale this stage and qualify to the semi-final. But they did that by beating UNE. So UNE is the only school that has allowed UBIT to qualify at their expense to the semi-final stage. UNE, are you coming for a revenge?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We are here to compete, yes. We are here to compete and probably win the competition, yes.
Okay. How has the preparation been like?
Okay, it hasn't been easy for us, but with God, all things are possible. We know that we are going to win it.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. But before I go, please introduce yourselves.
Saki Ebenezer, level 400, Resources, Enterprise and Entrepreneurship.
Dombo free Fabuatin, accounting level 200.
David Ampabene, Resource Enterprise and Entrepreneurship, level 300.
You are welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Yobit, please introduce yourselves.
Okay, I'm Michael Imoru, become accountant level 400. I'm Soyoro Julius, banking and finance level 400.
I am Saleh Abdallah, become accountant level 200.
Okay. You are welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, in your round of 16 contest, you were defeated by Heritage Christian University, but somehow you've made your way here. How has that influenced your preparation towards this contest?
I think we are here to right our wrongs. We are here to right our wrongs.
Yeah, okay. But then again, you come up against a school who is seeking to revenge for what you've done to them in the past. How are you prepared for the violence they want to unleash on you?
Okay, we are just hoping for an interesting competition, no strings attached.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, they are seated. They are ready for battle. I am ready for battle. My name is Al Hassan Yusuf Traore. Of course, you know what I love. Yes, I love academic violence. So violence like this is what I love. When the two schools have something to win or to lose. What they have to win is a place at the semi-final. What they have to lose is to go home. Yes. The contest is going to be organized in 5 rounds, 6 rounds. Round 1 is on theory, round 2 calculations, round 3 business case of the day. Round 4 is a graphic business segment, round 5 is a true or false. The 6th round will be on riddles. Please, are you ready? Yune, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yubit, are you ready?
Yes, please.
All right, so I'm beginning with the University of Energy and Natural Resources, common preamble to the 2 schools. So, in one attempt, identify which level of Edgar Shane's organizational culture model is most clearly illustrated in the scenario that I'll read to you, and briefly explain your reasoning. So, Edgar Shane's organizational culture model has a number of stages or levels. So, identify the level that we are in terms of the scenario that I'm going to read out to you. You have one attempt only. All right. You know, at a financial services firm, employees must wear formal attire, swipe into every floor with ID badges, and follow strict protocols for meeting room access. New hires quickly notice these practices even without being told. At a financial services firm, employees must wear formal attire, swipe into every floor with ID badges, and follow strict protocols for meeting room access. New hires, as new employees, quickly notice these practices even without being told.
Okay, so this is compliance. The employees are obeying the set rules and procedures set by the organization.
That is not correct. Even better, that bonus for you, Bates.
So that is the adhocracy stage. This one has to do with adhering to strict protocols and also following formalities in the organization.
That is not correct. Your major question, you Bates. Employees are encouraged to participate in monthly Innovation Fridays, where they pitch new ideas. Management celebrate these sessions and post pictures on the company's intranet, but none of the ideas are ever implemented or followed up. Employees, are encouraged to participate in monthly Innovation Fridays, where they pitch new ideas. Management celebrate these sessions and post pictures on the company's intranet, but none of the ideas are ever implemented or followed up.
So we have the idea generation, we have the evaluation stage whereby the organization pitch new ideas.
It is not correct to have one other
Okay.
chance. No,
So
just one attempt. Sorry, I mentioned that one attempt only. Bonus to you, ne?
Okay. So, please, this is the training and development stage, where the organization involve resources to train the employees.
It is not correct. It is not correct. So there are three basic levels. We have the basic underlying assumptions, we have artifacts, and we have espoused values. Those are the three things under the Egashane's organizational culture model. Next set of questions. Still beginning with Yune. Your major question. In an effort to reduce unit cost and benefit from quantity discounts, a consumer goods manufacturing company shifts from monthly purchasing to placing large quarterly orders for packaging materials. While procurement savings are reported, warehouses are reaching capacity and stock often remains unused for extended periods. Identify three implications of this inventory management practice. In an effort to reduce unit cost and benefit from quantity discounts, a consumer goods manufacturing company shifts from monthly purchasing to placing large quarterly orders for packaging materials. You are supposed to identify three implications of this inventory management practice.
Okay, so this will increase insurance costs since they will store much of the stocks in the company. Also, there will be the goods will be exposed to theft, and also high cost of covering or storing the goods.
That is correct. Your bid. Facing budget constraints and aiming to reduce inventory carrying costs, a diagnostic clinic adopts a lean inventory approach by maintaining only minimal quantities of lab reagents and testing kits. Identify three implications of this inventory management decision. Facing budget constraints and aiming to reduce inventory carrying costs, a diagnostic clinic adopts a lean inventory approach by maintaining only minimal quantities of lab reagents and testing kits. Identify three implications of this inventory management decision.
okay, so we have a reduction in inventory cost. We also have a reduction, like preventing obsolescence of goods, and we also have ensuring value. We also have ensuring of value. It means that you provide the most appropriate level of when you have minimal stock, it shows that you are able to provide valuable goods and services to your desired or targeted customers.
I'm not sure the last point is acceptable. I'll give you 2 out of 3. Next set of questions, common preamble. For each of the following scenarios, identify which of the 2 marketing strategies is being applied and briefly justify your answer. So I'm going to give you have 1 attempt only. Again. So I'll read out a scenario to you. I'll mention 2 marketing strategies. Your duty is to tell me which of the 2 marketing strategies that I'm telling you is being applied in that scenario. Do you get that? And you justify your answer. 1 attempt only. You know, a beverage company partners with a rising TikTok creator who posts casual lifestyle videos incorporating the drink into her daily routines. She often engages in challenges, tags the brand and replies to follower comments. She's not a mainstream person. Is this influencer marketing or celebrity endorsement? Justify your answer. A beverage company partners with a rising TikTok creator who posts casual lifestyle videos incorporating the drink into her daily routines. She often engages in challenges, tags the brand, and replies to follower comments. She's not a mainstream known person. Is this influencer marketing or celebrity endorsement?
Okay, so this is the influencer marketing strategy, where the company has given their daily routine activities to another company to advertise their products so that it will help them to attract more consumers to buy their and also the we can also talk about the franchising aspect, which is the distribution franchise, whereby the
It is correct. It's okay. Yubit, a financial institution publishes a free in-depth ebook on managing personal debt, branded under its name but containing no product promotions. It is downloadable from their website and positions the company as a thought leader. Is this content marketing or native advertising? Justify your answer. A financial institution publishes a free in-depth ebook on managing personal debt, branded under its name, but containing no product promotions. It is downloadable from their website and positions the company as a thought leader. Is this content marketing or native advertising? Justify your answer.
So it is the content marketing. Content marketing in a sense that the books have been enlisted in a particular website.
That is correct. For the next set of questions, we are beginning with Yubit. Common preamble to the two of you. The District Assembly's Common Fund is a statutory fund established under Article 252 of the 1902 Constitution of Ghana. It mandates that not less than 5% of national revenue be allocated annually to MMDAs to support development at the local level. That is a preamble. Now to you, Yubit. Identify 3 key challenges that may hinder the effective implementation of the District Assembly's Common Fund at the district level. Identify 3 key challenges that hinder the effective implementation of the DACF at the district level.
Okay, so we have the ineffective utilization of resources. This shows that these resources, this ineffective utilization of resources, the improper use of the resources. So we also have infrequent allocation from the central department. Then we also have infrequent Then the third one is that we are going to have improper management or mismanagement of fund by the head office.
It's fine, I'll accept that. You have to give me 3 potential benefits of the District Assembly's Common Fund. 3 potential benefits of the Common Fund.
So, under that approach, it enhances decentralized decision making. So, meaning the grassroots inputs are being considered. And 2, it also enhances developmental projects in a specified community. Then it also leads to a efficient mobilization of funds. That's the revenues that the district assembly generates.
I'm not sure the last point is acceptable. I'll give you 2 out of 3. Next set of questions, still beginning with UBIT. Now you are to identify the statistical law or theorem that is being applied and briefly justify your answer. So I'm going to give you a scenario. Identify the statistical law or theorem that is being applied and briefly justify your answer. Beginning with UBIT. A telecom company wants to estimate the average monthly data usage by or per customer. In a preliminary sample of 10 users, the results vary widely. A data analyst recommends sampling 5,000 customers instead, assuring management that the average will better reflect true customer user or usage patterns. I take it again. MTN wants to eliminate or estimate the average monthly data usage per customer. In a preliminary sample of 10 users, the results vary widely. A data analyst recommends sampling 5,000 customers instead, assuring management that the average will better reflect true customer usage patterns.
Okay, so we have the law of large numbers, and this one indicates that as more sample items are identified, the average mean of the sample draws will move closer to the population.
Yes. You know, a bakery records daily bread sales, which follow a skewed distribution. However, after collecting 100 daily sales averages over several months, a consultant notes that the distribution of these averages appears approximately normal. A bakery records daily bread sales, which followed a skewed distribution. However, after collecting 100 daily sales averages over several months, a consultant notes that the distribution of these averages appears approximately normal.
Okay. So this law is the plateautic distribution. With the plateautic distribution, the variable is below the normal distribution.
That is not correct. Bonus for UBIT.
So we have the law of averages. The law of averages talks about the movement of the mean closer to its observation.
No, what I was expecting is a central limit theorem. Central limit theorem. And now the last set of questions for this round. Last set of questions. Under Ghana's tax laws, when the Commissioner General, this is a common preamble to the two of you. When the Commissioner General issues a tax assessment, the taxpayer must be formally notified in writing. This notice must include specific details to inform the taxpayer of their obligations and rights. You are to state 3 elements contained in the Commissioner General's notice of tax assessment. So for each of you, state 3 elements that are normally included in the Commissioner General's notice of tax assessment. So for each of you, beginning with you, Bates.
So we have the annual tax payment by the taxpayer. We also have the chargeable income of the individual or the taxpayer. Now, lastly, we have finally, we now have the tax rates attached to it.
I'm giving you 2 out of 3. Now, you know.
So it contains the name of the person, meaning that it is being addressed to a particular person. So the person's name will be stated. Then then the person accessible income too will be stated.
I think that has been mentioned.
Okay. Then the tax due. Then also,
I think that has also been mentioned.
Okay. Then if will be like the information will contain if there is any relief related to or any reliefs that the person the task being addressed to is entitled to what to enjoy. Yeah, then the total cash emolument.
One out of three. Yeah, so I'm giving the one because of the name that you mentioned. The reliefs and total cash emoluments are not directly indicated on that. So specific thing, the name of the taxpayer, the tax identification number, the assessment of the tax payable by the Commissioner General, the chargeable income, the manner in which the assessment was calculated, the reason why the Commissioner General has made that assessment, the time that you have to make the payment, and the place that you need to make the payment. Those are some of the things that are on the assessment, as well as if you want to object, the time, place, and manner in which that objection should take place. On that note, we come to the end of round one. It is a contest between UNE and UBIT. A place at the semi-final is at stake. We have our scores for round one. At the end of round one, UNE had 9 points, UBIT had 13 points. We'll go into round two. It will involve calculations. You are free to use your calculator. Each of you will attempt 6 major questions. For a major question, you have 30 seconds within which to give me an answer. In 2 attempts only. If it's a bonus, you have 1 attempt to be answered in 5 seconds for 1 point. We are beginning this round from the SD Dombo. SD Dombo. Dr. Bewa retired in December 2022 after making contributions to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust for a total of 300 months while working with 3 different employers. His annual salaries for the final 5 years before retirement were as follows: 200,000 cedis in 2018, 220,000 cedis in 2019, 250,000 in 2020, 450,000 in 2021, and 500,000 in 2022. Using the information that I've given to you, calculate the monthly pension payable to Dr. Bewa in accordance with SNET's pension calculation method. Dr. Bewa retired in December 2022 after making contributions to SNET for a total of 300 months while working with 3 different employers. His annual salaries for final 5 years were as follows: 200,000 in 2018, 220,000 in 2019, 250,000 in 2020, 450,000 in 2021, and 500,000 in 2022. So using the information I've given to you, calculate the monthly pension payable to Dr. Bewa.
20,000 Ghana cedis.
It is not correct. You have one other chance.
Okay, so we have 1,666.6.
It is not correct. Bonus for UNE.
Okay, so we have 5,400 Ghana cedis.
It is also not correct. I'll give you the answer later. Dr. Bohini retired in March 2022 after 336 months of contributing to SNET. His last 5 annual salaries were: 2018 was 180,000, 2019 200,000, 2020 250,000, 2021 300,000, and 2022 350,000. Compute his monthly pension using the SNET method. Dr. Bohin retired in March 2022 after 336 months of contribution to SNIT. His last 5 annual salaries were 180,000 cedis in 2018, 200,000 in 2019, 250,000 in 2020, 300,000 in 2021, and 350,000 in 2022. Calculate his monthly pension.
Okay, so the monthly pension is 952.3 Ghana cedis.
No, you have one other chance.
Okay, 81,666.67.
Definitely not correct. Bonus for you bits.
The monthly pension is 12,800.
No, it is 4,921.88. The earlier one was 16,250. Next set of questions still with you bits. In a simple macroeconomic model, the components of aggregate demand are given as follows. Consumption, which is defined by C equals 0.8 into bracket Y minus T. Investment is given as I equals 500 minus 20R. Government spending is constant at 200. Taxes are fixed at 100. Derive the IS curve or equation that expresses the relationship between the aggregate output and the interest rate, and compute the aggregate output when the interest rate is 20%. I take it again. In a simple macroeconomic model, the components of aggregate demand are given as follows. Consumption is defined by C equals 0.8 into bracket Y minus T, bracket close. Investment is given as I equals 500 minus 20R. Government spending is constant at 200. Taxes are fixed at 100. Derive the IS curve or equation that expresses the relationship between aggregate output Y and interest rate R, and compute the aggregate output when the interest rate is 20%.
Okay, so given the equation is equals to the amount is equals to 2,100 and 4,420, and the equation is
Please, I need an answer now.
so the equation is 0.8.
I'm not taking that. That is not correct. Bonus for you, Yune.
Okay, so the equation is 0.8y is equal to 500 minus 20r plus 0.8t, and the amount is 700.
I'm not taking that as well. So I'll normally advise that you pay attention to the question. Now your major question, Yune. In a closed economy, the components of aggregate demand are defined as follows. Consumption C equals 0.75 into bracket Y minus T, bracket close. Investment I equals 500 minus 25R. And the government spending G equals 250. Taxes are 120. Derive the IS curve expressing Y as a function of R, and calculate the equilibrium output when the interest rate is 10%. In a closed economy, the components of aggregate demand are defined as follows. Consumption C equals 0.75 into bracket Y minus T. Investment I equals 400 minus 25R. Government spending G equals 250. Taxes T equals 120. Derive the IS curve expressing Y as a function of R, and calculate the equilibrium output when the interest rate is 10%.
Okay. So the function is given by y is equals to um, y is equals to
I need an answer now.
y equals to 0.75 y is equals to y is equal to 786, and the function is 0.75 y
It is not
equals
correct. Bonus for you, Bates.
So y is equals to 0.75 t plus 500 minus 25i plus what's this one plus 25i all over 0.75, and the output is going to give you.
I need an answer.
So the output is going to give you.
Let's move on. Next set of questions. I'm not going to be accepting that. Okay. Well, there are guidelines on the time limits. Next set of questions. Ubit. A zero coupon bond matures in 5 years with a face value of 1,000 cedis. The required rate of return is 6% compounded semi-annually. What is the current price of the bond? A zero coupon bond matures in 5 years with a face value of 1,000 cedis. The required rate of return is 6% compounded semi-annually. What is the current price of the bond?
$744.09.
Yes. Une, a zero coupon bond matures in 6 years with a face value of 1,000 cedis. The required rate of return is 8% compounded quarterly. Calculate the current price of the bond. A zero coupon bond matures in 6 years with a face value of 1,000 cedis. The required rate of return is 8% compounded quarterly. Calculate the current price of the bond.
You have 5,577.76.
It is not correct. Bonus for you, Bates.
We have 621.72.
Yes. For our next set of questions, we are beginning with Une. Next set of questions, beginning with you, Une. All right. So, in a linear programming model with the objective function z equals 1200x plus 800y, where x and y are units of two outputs, an increase of 1 labor hour results in an increase of 15 units of x and 10 units of y in the optimal solution. Calculate the shadow price of labor. I take it again. In a linear programming model with the objective function z equals 1200x plus 800y, where x and y are units of two outputs, an increase of 1 labor hour results in an increase of 15 units of x and 10 units of y in the optimal solution. Calculate the shadow price of labor.
$26,000.
Yes. You bid. A business maximizes profits using the function z equals 600x plus 1000y, where x and y represent units of two products. After increasing storage space by 1 unit, the optimal solution changes such that x increases by 12 units and y decreases by 3 units. Determine the shadow price of storage space. A business maximizes profit using the function z equals 600x plus 1000y, where x and y represent units of two products. After increasing storage space by 1 unit, the optimal solution changes such that x increases by 12 units and y decreases by 3 units. Determine the shadow price of storage space.
So we have it to be 4,200.
Yes. Next set of questions, still beginning with you, Yune. A public sector agency reported an accumulated fund balance of 150,000 cedis at the start of 2023. An audit revealed that 25,000 cedis received in December 2022 as a grant was incorrectly excluded from income and posted to deferred income. The auditor recommends it to be recognized as income. The reported surplus for 2023 was 80,000 cedis. Determine the corrected accumulated fund as at 31st December 2023. I take it again. A public sector agency reported an accumulated fund of 150,000 cedis at the start of 2023. An audit revealed that 25,000 cedis received in December 2022 as a grant was incorrectly excluded from income and posted to deferred income. The auditor recommends it to be recognized as income. The reported surplus for 2023 was 80,000 cedis. Determine the corrected accumulated fund at 31st December 2023.
Okay, we have 255,000.
255,000.
55,000.
Yes, that is correct. Ubits. A government department reported an accumulated fund of 300,000 cedis as at 1st January 2023. An office block purchased for 100,000 cedis in 2022 was erroneously classified as an operating expense. Depreciation rate is 10% per annum. Surplus for 2023 is 120,000 cedis before audit adjustment. Determine the correct accumulated fund as at 31st December 2023. A government department reported an accumulated fund of 300,000 cedis as at 1st January 2023. An office block purchased for 100,000 cedis in 2022 was erroneously classified as an operating expense. Depreciation rate is 10%. Surplus for 2023 is 120,000 cedis before audit adjustment. Determine the correct accumulated fund as at 31st December 2023.
We have it to be 410,000.
It is not correct. You have one other chance.
We have it to be 400,000.
That is also not correct. Bonus for Yune.
310,000.
No, it is 500,000. 500,000. Last set of questions for this round. Last set of questions for this round. Yune, by the end of the 6th month, a project was scheduled to complete 60% for its work. Only 50% has been completed. The budgeted cost of work scheduled is 300,000 cedis, and the actual cost is 280,000 cedis. Calculate the end value, schedule variance, and cost variance. By the end of the 6th month, a project was scheduled to complete 60% of its work. Only 50% has been completed. The budgeted cost of work scheduled is 300,000 cedis, and the actual cost is 280,000 cedis. Calculate the earned value, schedule variance, and cost variance.
Okay. So the cost variance is 20,000, and the and the end value is 150,000, and the budgeted variance is 30,000.
That is not correct. Bonus is available to you, Yune. No, you bet.
So we have the end value to be 168,000, and then the initial value to be 180,000, and the variance is 40,000.
I'm not taking that as well. Now your major question. Pay attention to the questions. A project had planned to achieve 70% of work completion by month 7. The actual work done is 75%. The budgeted cost of work scheduled is 420,000 cedis, and the actual cost is 460,000 cedis. Calculate the earned value, schedule variance, and cost variance. A project had planned to achieve 70% of work scheduled or completion by the 7th month. The actual work done is 75%. The budgeted cost of work schedule is 420,000, and the actual cost is 460,000 cedis. Calculate the earned value, the schedule variance, and the cost variance.
Okay, so the end value is 345,000, and the cost variance is 75,000.
That is not correct. You have one other chance.
So the end value is 460,000 and the variance is 40,000.
I'm not taking that. Bonus to you, Yune.
Okay, so the end value is 345,000. The cost variance is negative 40,000, and the scheduled variance is 23,000.
No, that is not correct. The end value is 450,000. The schedule variance is 30,000, and the cost variance is negative 10,000. On that note, we come to the end of round 2. How is it going for you, Yune? How is the contest going so far?
So far, we are not that happy with our performance, but we hope to improve in the coming rounds.
You bet. Are you happy with your performance? How is it going for you?
It's not actually going as planned, but we are hoping to do our best in the next rounds.
All right. So we'll go to the next round soon. But before then, the scores for round 2. At the end of round 2, Yune had 6 points. Yubit has 7 points. We are going into round 3, the business case of the day. You may pick it up. We have something on taxation. So let's read together briefly. MSL General Merchandise is an industry-leading importer of goods for onward distribution to wholesalers and retailers in Ghana. During the month of July 2024, AGM Limited imported goods by air from Ukraine. You have been consulted to advise on the treatment of some components of the CIF value to be used to determine the amount of import duties and import taxes payable. The goods imported by AGM have a cost of 1.8 million cedis. Total freight value was 700,000 cedis. There was no evidence of insurance paid by AGM, so AGM has been informed that the Customs Division will determine the insurance payable in line with the customs regulations. You have been consulted to provide advice on the following issues. A. Determine the amount of insurance to be used in the CIF computation for AGM limited imported goods. B. Following from A above, calculate the following: import duty, import get fund levy, import NHIL, import COVID-19 levy, import VAT, ECOWAS levy, African import levy. So we've been provided with some rates to aid in our computation. That is our business case of the day. You have 10 minutes within which to provide an answer. Please start now. and submit whatever you have done. All right. Thank you very much. Very simple and straightforward problem. If you know what you are doing, you get a full marks. If you don't know what you are doing, you get 0 or 1. Okay. So this is about computation of duties, especially with respect to customs. So there's a scenario given, and we are told that the goods cost 1.8 million. The freight was 700,000, but there was no insurance. So the requirement of the question is to determine the amount of insurance to be used in the CIF computation, and subsequent to that, you then compute a number of other duties. So by law, CIF is computed as the cost plus the insurance plus the freight. I hope we know that CIF, that's why we call the CIF value. The cost plus insurance plus freight, that's the CIF value. Now, when there is insurance, it's fine. Where there is no insurance, the law indicates that where it relates to this kind of, how do we call it? This kind of transport, we charge insurance of 1% of the cost and freight value. So where there is no insurance, we charge 1% of the cost and freight value. That is where it is by air. So in this instance, the cost was provided, the freight was provided. So to get the insurance, we just have to add the two figures. That's 2.5 million cedis, and then multiply it by 1% to get 25,000. If you're able to do this, you have 1 mark. So once you get the insurance, you then add the 3 figures to get a CIF value, which then becomes 2,525,000. And this 2,525,000 is what you use for all the other computations. The import duties, the import get fund levy, import NHIL, import COVID-19, import VAT, both will all depend on the CIF value. So once you get a CIF value wrong, all the others will be wrong. So all of these were for 1 mark each, and you get 10 marks. Now let's look at what they did. Beginning with UNE. The way they are laughing gives them up. So they were not able to determine the insurance value to use. They said 5.5%. And once that is wrong, all the other figures are wrong. For your effort, you get 1 out of 10. Your bets didn't do anything better than what UNE did. They also didn't know their way around it, but they did something. So for their effort, they get 1 out of 10. So at the end of round 3, your bets had 1 point, UNE had 1 point. We can move on to the 4th round. We are going into round 4. If you have any substitutions, please effect them now. All right. Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we are beginning this round from UNE, but before then, introduce yourselves.
Okay, my name is Colin Thomas, BSc Accounting, level 200.
Okay.
My name is Jude Fred Darby, become accounting level 300.
Okay. Graphic business segment. In this round, I'm going to ask you questions on some stories that appeared in the graphic business newspapers. Each of you will attempt 6 major questions. For a major question, you have 10 seconds to give me an answer. If it's a bonus, you have just 5 seconds for 1 point. Please, are you ready? I'm beginning this round from UNE. Common preamble to the 2 schools. Midway through 2025, company executives must pause and evaluate their performance. A planned half-year review is essential, particularly in Ghana and West Africa's dynamic markets, for identifying gaps, adjusting plans, and avoiding costly mistakes. That is the preamble. Now, UNE, the exercise begins by evaluating the goals and key performance indicators that you established at the start of the year. Identify the 3 key questions to address at this stage. What are the 3 key questions that you need to address at this stage?
Okay, with the questions, you ask you ask yourself the 5 top priorities or goals of the company, and you ask yourself whether you are on track, or you ask yourself if you are ahead.
Okay, it's fine. I'll accept that. Yobit, as digital transformation accelerates, Ghanaian businesses must assess both traditional and digital marketing outcomes. Identify the 3 key questions to address at this stage. As digital transformation accelerates, Ghanaian businesses must assess both traditional and digital marketing outcomes. Identify the 3 key questions to address at this stage.
The 3 key questions to address are find whether our customers really purchasing your commodity. If yes, why? And if no, why are they not purchasing or patronizing the community?
Please come again.
The 3 key questions to address under that is are customers patronizing the commodity or the goods of the company. If they are patronizing, what makes them patronize? Or if they are not patronizing, what is making them not to patronize the commodity or the good?
Maybe I'll give you 2 out of 3. Next set of questions. UNE, what was the profit for Republic Bank PLC for 2023, 2024, and the percentage difference in the amount? What was the profit for Republic Bank for 2023, 2024, and the percentage difference in the amount?
The profit for 2023 was 145.03 million Ghana cedis, and the profit for 2024 is 210.67 million Ghana cedis, and the percentage difference of the amount is 45.26%.
Yes. Bates, what was the interest income for Republic Bank for 2023, 2024, and the percentage difference in the amount? What was the interest income for Republic Bank for 2023, 2024, and the percentage difference in the amount?
The interest incomes for 2023 was 952.76 million, and then the 2024 was 1.2 billion.
I'm waiting for the answer.
So you get 0.9998.
2 out of 3. Next set of questions, common preamble. According to a graphic business analysis, despite a significant boost in funding to the MMDAs, to the District Assembly's Common Fund, the agriculture sector has been neglected with no direct allocation from the first quarter 2025 disbursement. You have to mention any 3 specific projects for this first quarter disbursement. Let me take it again. Mention any 3 specific projects this first quarter disbursement were targeted at and their respective percentage share. Mention any 3 specific projects this first quarter disbursements were targeted at and their respective percentage share, beginning with UNE.
So we have 25% for model markets and 20% for abandoned legacy projects and 10% for educational infrastructure.
That is correct. Your bit.
We have plus 20% for, we have 10% for educational infrastructure.
That has been mentioned.
10% for water and utility. We have 10% for 10% for water and utility. We have plus 20% for
We can
10% for water and utility, 10% for health, and then 10% for.
It's okay, we can make progress. 2 out of 3. For the next set of questions, I'm beginning with you, Bates. Next set of questions, I'm beginning with you. In the domain of services market, this is a common preamble. In the domain of services marketing, it is crucial to distinguish between 2 closely related yet fundamentally different concepts: customer service and service products. Understanding the distinction between customer service and service products is not merely academic. It has critical practical consequences for how businesses design, deliver, and manage their offerings. Now the question is, mention and explain briefly any 3 key implications for firms seeking to compare or to compete effectively in service-oriented market each. So for each of you, mention and explain briefly any 3 key implications for firms seeking to compete effectively in service-oriented market, beginning with your bits.
Yes. With the implications, we have failure to understand the differences between will lead to unmet customer expectations, and this is because once you are not able to identify the differences between customer service and service product, to not be the company will not be able to focus much attention in any that will lead to unmet customer expectation. Also, we have it will eventually lead to loss of profit or investment. This is because once the company or the organization is not able to understand and the differences between the 2 fundamental concepts, they are unable to make effort on them. And also we have what we have it will lead to inefficiencies in operations.
That is not what I'm looking for. I won't accept that. You have your chance now, you know.
So it leads to strategic resources allocation. Distinguishing between these 2 key elements helps the organization allocate its resources judicially. Then for service and Another one too is service delivery and optimization. It helps businesses identify the needs of the customers and therefore tailor the goods to meet their needs. And another one too is performance metrics and evaluation. That's when you assess how the customers react to the goods. That's where, for example, the customer satisfaction, where you assess the net promoter score to see how the customers relate to the goods produced by the organization.
That is correct. Next set of questions, still beginning with you, Bates. According to the Ghana Statistical Service's latest report on inflation, on a regional level, disparities in inflation rates remain significant. What was the inflation rate for June 2025 for the Upper West region, Greater Accra region, and the percentage difference? What was the inflation rate for June 2025 for the Upper West region, Greater Accra region, and the percentage difference?
The Upper West region inflation was 32.3%, and then Greater Accra 12.2%, and the difference will be 1.65%.
2 out of 3. Une, what was the inflation rate for the Bono East region, Eastern region, and the percentage difference between the two? What was the inflation rate for June 2025 for the Bono East region, Eastern region, and the percentage difference? Two out of 3. Your microphone should be on. Please, your microphones must be on. Repeat your answers, but I'm giving you 2 out of 3. Repeat what you said.
Okay. For Bono East region, it was 8.4%, and Eastern region 12.2%, and the percentage change is 31.15%.
So 2 out of 3. The difference is just the difference between the two figures. 12.2 minus 8.4. The figures are in percentage, so I'll just ask you what's the difference in the percentage. Okay. Next set of questions. I think this should be our last set of questions for the round. Still beginning with you, Bates. Ghana's government has made a significant milestone in its debt restructuring journey by completing its third Eurobond payment since the restructuring agreement in October 2024. That's a preamble. Now, you Bates, when was the second Eurobond debt servicing paid? How much was paid? And the percentage of the total, and what percentage of the total debt did that payment constitute? When was the second Eurobond debt servicing paid? How much was paid? And what percentage of the total debt did that payment constitute?
The amount of the Eurobond, the second amount paid is 349.52 million US dollars, and it was paid in October 2024. The percentage, to take this one over there, the amount I mentioned over the total 3, 4, 3.
I need the answer now.
And the percentage will be 298.73%.
1 out of 3. Now yours. You know, When was the third Eurobond debt servicing paid? How much was paid and what percentage of the total debt did that payment constitute? When was the third Eurobond debt servicing paid? How much was paid and what percentage of the total debt did that payment constitute?
Okay, the amount that was paid was $349.52 million, and it was paid in March, and the percentage is 29.87%.
2 out of 3. So it was paid in July 2025. For yours was paid in January 2025. The percentage, you got it wrong. It was 29.87. In fact, the second and third payment were the same. I hope that is clear. On that note, we come to the end of round 4. We have 2 final rounds to go, the true or false segment and the riddle segment. We'll take the scores for round 4 and then we make progress. At the end of round 4, Dombo had 9 points. Une had 16 points. We are going into the true or false segment, where I'll give you some statements. Your duty is to tell me if the statement is true or false. If you get it correct, you have 2 points. If you get it wrong, -1. You may decide not to answer, in which case the other school may take it up under the same conditions. Please, are you ready? I'm beginning this round from the SD Dombo. SD Dombo. SD Dombo. In high context cultures, legal contracts are often viewed as a starting point for negotiations rather than rigid binding agreements. In high context environment or cultures, legal contracts are often viewed as a starting point for negotiations rather than rigid binding agreements.
False.
It is not false. In high context cultures, written communication is preferred over face-to-face interactions to avoid ambiguity. In high context cultures, written communication is preferred over face-to-face interactions to avoid ambiguities.
Please say it's true.
It is not true. Ubits. Residual risk is calculated by subtracting the control risk from the inherent risk. Residual risk is calculated by subtracting the control risk from the inherent risk.
It's true. It's true.
What?
True.
It is not true. Residual risk should be assessed before selecting a risk response strategy. Residual risk should be assessed before selecting a risk response strategy.
True.
No. Ubits. According to the pecking order theory, equity is the cheapest source of financing. The pecking order theory assumes that equity is the cheapest source of funding.
True statement.
What? Speak into the microphone.
It's a true statement.
It is not a true statement. Pecking order theory assumes that there's no optimal capital structure for a firm. Pecking order theory assumes that there's no optimal capital structure for a firm.
False.
No. Next set, I'm beginning with you, Yune. Yune, you are starting the next set for me. The value of accommodation with furnishing provided by an employer is computed as 7.5% of the employee's total cash emolument. The value of accommodation with furnishing provided by an employer is computed as 7.5% of the employee's total cash emolument.
False.
Yes. Yobit. If an employer provides shared accommodation to an employee, the value to be included in the payee computation is 2.5% of total cash emolument. If an employer provides shared accommodation to an employee, the value to be included in the payee computation is 2.5% of total cash emolument.
True.
Yes. So the next set of questions relates to the quarters 8-step change model. So 8-step change model, beginning still with you, Yune. A manufacturing firm introduces lean processes by setting ambiguous or ambitious improvement targets and encouraging teams to experiment and take initiative. This reflects step 4, communicate the vision. A manufacturing firm introduces lean processes by setting ambitious improvement targets and encouraging teams to experiment and take initiative. This reflects step 4, communicate the vision.
True.
No, it is not true. Yobit. Senior executives at a logistics firm email staff weekly updates. Senior executives at a logistics firm email staff weekly updates on change progress and hold town hall meetings to reinforce the rationale behind the initiative. This reflects step 8, anchoring new approaches in culture. Senior executives at a logistics firm email staff weekly updates on change progress and hold town halls to reinforce the rationale behind the initiative. This step reflects step 8, anchoring new approaches in culture. You've been bailed out. Do you want to take the bonus up or the question up? Yune, are you taking it up? Okay. Now we go on to our last set of questions for this round. Last set of questions. Beginning with you, Yune. If two events A and B are independent, then the probability of A and B equals probability of A times the probability of B. If two events A and B are independent, then probability of A and B equals probability of A times the probability of B.
It's true.
Yes, it is true. And now the final one for you, Bates. If A and B are mutually exclusive events with non-zero probabilities, then they are not independent. If A and B are mutually exclusive events with non-zero probabilities, then they are not independent.
True.
It is true. On that note, we come to the end of round 5. How is it going, my people? Yobit, how is it going for you?
It's getting fierce.
I can feel the tension in the room. You know, how is it going for you?
It's been a tricky one, but we are hopeful for a better contest.
All right, we'll see how the last round goes. Now the scores for round 5. Oh. Une had 0 points. Ubid had 1 point. And ladies and gentlemen, it will be settled in the final round. Riddles. 5 riddles in all. The riddles are open to the 2 schools. The first school to ring their bell will be required to give an answer in 10 seconds. If they get it wrong, they can no longer partake in that riddle. If they get it correct, they may get 5 points. That is, if it was answered on the first clue, 4 points on the second clue, 3 points on any other clue thereafter. Riddle number 1. I am a legal principle based on equity and fairness. As an equitable remedy, I provide restitution for unjust enrichment, often employed in contract law.
Maxims of equity.
No, it is not correct. Now you can no longer partake in this riddle. Ubit, I am awarded in an amount considered reasonable to compensate a person who has provided services in a quasi-contractual relationship. I am a Latin phrase meaning what one has earned. I refer to a claim for reasonable payment for services rendered or work done when there is no agreed upon contract price or when a contract has been partially completed or terminated. Who am I? Yes, your bid.
Okay, we have specific performance.
Oh, it is not correct. Will you have changed your mind now? What will you have said differently?
Quantum merit.
Quantum merit. I said it's a Latin phrase. Riddle number 2. I am a difference associated with tax and financial accounting. I may be either taxable or deductible. I am caused by transactions that are recognized by both financial accounting and accounting for tax purposes, but are recognized at different times. For this reason, I am also known as timing differences. I am the differences between the carrying amount of an asset or liability. You bid.
Capital allowance.
No. I am the difference between the carrying amount of an asset or liability in the statement of financial position and its tax base. That is the amount attributed to that asset or liability for tax purposes. Yes, you know.
Income.
No, please. It is known as a temporary difference. Temporary difference. Next riddle. Riddle number 3. I am one of the 5 traits of both the 5-factor model and the hexagon model of personality in the field of psychological trait theory. I have been variously described as a continuous dimension of personality rather than a categorical type of personality. I am an aspect of what has traditionally been referred to as having character. I imply a desire to do a task well and to take obligations to others seriously. Persons with my traits tend to show self-discipline, act dutifully, and aim for achievement. They display planned rather than spontaneous behavior, and they are generally dependable. I manifest in characteristics such as being neat, systematic, careful, thorough, and deliberate. Who am I? Yes, your bid.
So we have the trait theory personality.
No, please. It is not correct. Now, you know. You're wrong. Give me the answer now.
Okay, personal traits.
No. It is known as a consensuousness. Riddle number 5. Riddle number 5. The contest is there to be won. Oh, you are playing around the thing. You don't want to win. Riddle, riddle number 5 or riddle number 4. Sorry. I am a type of protocol in information and communication technology. I am built on a client-server model architecture using separate control and data connections between the client and the server. My users may authenticate themselves with a plain text sign-in protocol, normally in the form of a username and password, but can connect anonymously if the server is configured to allow it. I am commonly used for uploading website files, downloading software, and transferring data between computers. I am a standardized protocol used to transfer files between a client and a server over a... Yes, you know.
The hypertext transfer protocol.
No, it is not hypertext transfer protocol. I continue for the benefit of UBIT. I am a standardized network protocol used to transfer files between a client and a server over a TCP/IP connection. Who am I? Yes.
File text protocol.
FTP file transfer protocol is accepted. And now the last question for the contest. Last question. Are you ready? Okay. I am a corporate action that relates to stock holding. A common reason for undertaking me is to satisfy a stock exchange's minimum share price. I may be used to reduce the number of shareholders. I do not change the company's total market value. I just repackage the shares. There is a stigma attached to me as I underscore the fact that shares have declined in value, so I'm not common and may take a shareholder or board meeting for consent. I'm a process by which shares of a corporate stock are effectively merged to form a smaller number of proportionally more valuable shares. Who am I? You know, you have the floor.
The rights issue of shares.
No. You bid.
Synergy.
No. It is known as a reverse stock split or reverse split. On that note, we come to the end of the contest, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a very interesting contest between UNE and UBID, and I was right when I said this was a contest I was looking forward to, because we have two very equally matched institutions. We will take the scores for round 6, and then we will come back with the final results. At the end of round 6, UNE had no point, UBID had 3 points. So we are now going to come back with the final results, but your overall assessment of the contest, UNE.
So, as we said, we did our best, but we guess our best was not the best.
Okay, have you given up already?
No, sir.
We'll wait for the final scores for that. Now, UBIT, how do you assess the contest overall?
So the whole contest has been very tricky for us from the onset. We're thinking that going forward we'll be able to make adjustments to our performances, but were able to make that. We are hoping and waiting for the final results.
Okay. Now let's have the final results so that you don't have to wait anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, the final results. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the contest, a very close contest. University of Energy and Natural Resources had 32 points. SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies had 34 points. And just like that, the difference is 2 points. These two schools have met for the third time. In their first ever meeting in 2023, the difference was 2 points. In their second ever meeting, the difference was 3.5 points. And now, the difference is just 2 points. And one school has always had the upper hand over the other. And that school, once again, is the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Congratulations to you, SD Dombo. You've qualified to the semifinals of the 2025 Tertiary Business Sense Challenge. I'll see you at the semifinals. You know, that was hard luck. Hard luck. The last round, I think the Riddle did it for them. It's quite unfortunate. But of course, there has to be a winner. And that did not happen to be you in this contest. So I wish you the very best of luck in your future contests. I believe there are many more years ahead for you as well. So ladies and gentlemen, the fifth quarterfinal contest has come to an end. We have 5 schools at the semifinals so far. University of Cape Coast, Valley View University, University of Education, Winneba. We have the University of Ghana, and now we have the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. The final quarterfinal contest will be between the West End University College and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. That contest will complete the quarterfinal contest. So appreciation to studio audience for being part of this contest. Appreciation to those of you who joined online. Now my production team, Franklin Sowa, Yvonne Ayi, Stella Logosu, George Dansu, David Ebo, NSJC, Malik Haruna, Emmanuel Amamu, Agnes Ado, Evans Minta, Alfred Akweje, Felix Tay, David Nyama Abubakar, Evans Tayuba, Samuel Ansan, Emmanuel Adi, Esther J, Kwame Lawe, and we also have Franklin Aka, Benis, Caleb, Jesse, and Walali. Thank you so much for being part of this contest. I'll see you in the next contest between KNUST and West End University College. At the end of this contest, SD Dombo University has progressed to the semi-final. My name once again is Al Hassan Yusuf Traore, and I love academic violence. I'll see you in the next contest. Bye-bye for now.
Ceremony of the giant trophy, which signifies that UGBS are our 2024 champions. So let's welcome them with a hearty round of applause as they receive the trophy.
This means a lot. We are super excited. They've really shown professionalism.
Improve the experience and compliance.
Yes, that is correct.
Champions who have held the trophy for more than 365 days.
You said you used to test hypothesis.
T-test.
No, please.
Radio frequency identification.
Yes.
Congratulations, guys. It's not easy. Let a round of applause flow for our 2024 Tertiary Business Sense Challenge champions, the University of Ghana Business School. There's going to be a presentation.